I have like a little bit of a story, and the framing for this is one of the things that I work on with majority of the people that I work with and support is on like time management and organization, especially for what that means for time blocking on their calendar. And so it can be really easy to go, all right, hey, like I'm going to put aside an hour just to make calls. And so they're like, cool, I have this hour, but maybe they only do like 10 calls. It's like, all right, well, cool, you put this hour down, but you literally like delayed everything throughout that hour. Instead, let's really talk about, all right, you're going to have 1 hour dedicated to this task. Let's set some objectives. Like, what do you want to accomplish within that hour so that you know you use that hour adequately and appropriately? And I got this tip, or I was inspired to do this by something my grandfather shared with me. So my grandfather used to be, he used to work at IBM. At one point in time was like the highest ranking African-American, like globally at IBM. Went on to then start his own company. It was one of like the largest minority-owned businesses in the Midwest during the 90s and early 2000s as well. So very accomplished guy. Prior to that, though, he was a cab driver in Philadelphia. And I would say like in the early 60s, late 50s, somewhere around there. And one of the things that he would tell me is like when he was a cab driver, he would not go home until it was the absolute like middle of the night and his shift is completely done, or when he had made $30. He's like, he's like, listen, he's like, in order to provide for my family, I need to make $30 every day that I'm out in that cab. So he would not get out of his cab until he made $30. Maybe he made $30 in a morning, right? And at that point in time, he can now reward himself. What does he want to do? Does he want to keep on working and make some more? Or does he want to go home and spend some quality time with my grandma? Or maybe just go out and do something for himself, right? But then there was other days where like he didn't make $30, but he's like, I'm not getting out of this cab until like this bell chimes. So like I think that's the importance of having the objectives, which is I have this time, I need to make the most out of it. And so I'm not going to stop doing this thing until I've either hit my objective or I've hit my time constraint, right? I think something that's really nice with that too is if you put some constraints and some objectives in place, you also have ways to identify ways to get better. So let's say I have my rep and they're like, all right, cool, I'm putting an objective to this. I want to make 20 calls in this hour. I'm like, cool, if you hit 15, that's fine, right? You either have to get better at something else to give yourself a little bit more time for calls, or you have to get better at your time management during calls, right, for that time. So this is what gives you some nice parameters so you're not all of a sudden leaking into other things and everything else falls behind.
Yes, I think this is a relevant conversation when we think of just working from home and how the workforce is changing. Like there's no law that requires us to keep people there for 8 hours a day, right? Like how does it shift if that's not the goal, right? Because essentially we're setting the goal at work 8 hours. But what if we shifted that into like, here's the things you need to accomplish. If you get it done in 4 hours, peace. Enjoy your afternoon with your family, or go to the park or whatever your thing is. But no, I think that's a super relevant conversation. I love that you bring up like that just being another benefit of having measurable outcomes predefined and having your goals.
Yeah.
And then creating your own reward system. We're talking about recognition. Like it's powerful for us to have our own reward systems that we're creating for ourselves as well, especially as leaders, because sometimes it can feel like we're just looking out for ourselves.
Yeah, definitely.
So I took a tangent from your tangent. So we're just in tangents. We love tangents. Let's go. That's what we do on podcasts. It's just like the stream of conscious thought. We just keep it moving. Just keep it going.
Yes.
Before the conversation, we're talking about my bee sting. This bee just like brutally attacked me.
That's great.
But, I was like, man, maybe I should call it in. But it's like, no, I got to be here for the Leaders Alliance fans. I got this interview with GB. We got to make sure this happens for the culture.
Yeah.
For the leadership culture.
I might have to start calling you Bee Sting.
Oh, Bee Sting boy. I was Bee Sting guy. He talks about his Bee Sting all the time. You're hilarious. But I appreciate you. Awesome follow on LinkedIn. I always appreciate your content. Always enjoy the one-on-one when it comes through my newsletter box as well. So if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Awesome tactics on having effective one-on-ones, especially if you're a sales leader. I cannot highly recommend it enough. GB, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Do